Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship Season 6 finale here at Imola. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Sam Fitzpatrick, and we got Luis Ward in production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
And this is the final round of the championship, and it is going to be at Imola, and I'm very pleased to be visiting this circuit, Austin. It's usually a very fun circuit, but it's a proper full layout, at least this time, compared to all the tiny little go-kart circuits we've been visiting so far. So a nice sweeper and a nice classic circuit as well to round out this 6-race championship.
It really is, and yeah, speaking of go-kart circuits of this season, I was surprised that we did not have a race at the Porsche Experience Center when we went to Hockenheim rating. So we didn't use all the go-kart circuits, but we certainly used variations. But Imola, I'm glad we're not using the moto variation on this on the front straight, or else this would have just been weird. But I'm glad we were at Imola for our season finale. It's a very proper track and a very classic track.
Yeah, I really enjoy driving this place. I think many of our viewers will as well. Let us know in the chats if you enjoy this place. If you don't, let us know why you don't enjoy driving this circuit. But yeah, I really like it. Of course, considering that it's been fairly butchered compared to what it was once upon a time with all the chicanes which have been added. It has still got an absolutely fantastic flow to it. And we should have 2 good races. Of course, those who aren't familiar with the championship, we've got a 30-minute race 1. They're lapped based, but they're approximately 30 minutes race 1, and then about a 20-minute race 2, with that race 2 having an 8-car reverse grid for it. And so yeah, plenty of good racing. I think last week, to be fair, Austin, I'm sort of slagging off the previous tracks, but the Nürburgring round was really good, particularly race 1, and absolutely terrific lead battle. I hope we see more of the same tonight.
Yeah, these small tracks have been giving us some very great fights. Unfortunately, looking at our points, I don't believe that's up to date. No, are these are including drop points, am I right?
No, I think these are a little bit behind. So these were from previous rounds,
yeah,
so apologies for that
race.
error.
Because Mads Johansson had a disastrous round, retired from both races. He was leading the championship by 2 points, but now he's behind considerably to Michael Yanni now, because there are no drop rounds in this series.
There are no drop rounds, so yeah, that poor round for Yanni last time out really cost him bad. So yeah, just a quick update on the actual points. Yanni very much leading the way comfortably. He is now 70 points clear of Roger Christensen. So Yanni's pretty much got that one in the bag. Even though, I mean, he needs to turn up tonight, which he has done. So that's basically a box ticks, and that should be the majority of the battle there.
And
he's 70 points.
Both races.
Even if he didn't finish one of the races, he'd probably still have enough. It's 70 points, I believe, for a race win. So as long as he can, score some decent points in race 1, then that should be enough. And of course, he does have a faster pair as well, so it's unlikely that he'd retire from a race. But well, we've seen crazier things in Apex Racing TV. Christensen is in second place, our defending champion, of course, and it's Anders Meyer, Leon Penn, and Moritz Lohner. In the Pro-Ams, it is fairly dominant, and the AMs as well, it's been very dominant. Meyer is leader of the Pro-Ams, 90 points clear of Thomas Bangen in that one. And in the Amateur Championship, we have got Victor Taras, who has been so dominant, so quick this season. He's on 430. Koopmans is on 360, so 70 points again there. So highly unlikely that's going to turn around. Probably the closest one is in the teams, because Apex Racing Academy have been struggling a little bit recently. RPC might catch up to them tonight if they have a similar round to what they did at Nürburgring. It's unlikely, but it could still be close for the team's championship, as the first few times are coming in for qualifying. The drivers get 2 laps, remember, in this 8-minute qualifying session.
Yeah, Teams Championship, RPC does have a car number advantage today, so they will be having a, if they have a very good turnout in points and throughout the races, they could jump the Apex Racing Academy guys, because the Apex Racing Academy only has 2 cars that have been showing up per event now. They started with 3, but they're now just 2. The RPC team, they still got all 3 cars in there. So more cars, more points, better pizza, better ingredients.
Exactly, that's the saying, isn't it?
Just more. They just got more.
So, and just to remind as well, to maybe a few people who aren't familiar with the rules, like, you get 3 drivers per team, but only the top 2 drivers score points at each round. So it really, and I know, so that makes it sound so you can have 2 drivers and 2 well. Across a championship, you really need 3 in order to do well.
And with Max Johansson, Apex Racing Academy driver, not finishing both rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Last time they lost
really a
120 points, I think.
Yeah, they didn't have another driver to lean on.
Exactly. This team, though, Door Esports, have been absolutely superb recently, and they are currently top 2 in this qualifying session. Nold up ahead of Jarshell. Nold's been, well, at least last time out, was a fair bit behind Jarshell. He was terrific, arguably the fastest driver out on circuit. They are currently 1 and 2. Can Nold go even faster, though? He's taking a slightly elongated run to the line. Is this good enough for him? Meyer goes top as the Pro-Am. Jarshell goes top. Nold was not able to improve, and so may drop down a little bit further, because still got Michael Yanni to cross line. Yanni approaches the line right now. Is he able to go even faster? He just goes to second place, so it's going to be another pole position, it looks like, for now at least, for Tim Jarshell.
Yeah, and also going back on our RPC talk, 2 of the 3 RPC drivers, it is an uphill battle today. 2 of the 3 of them have a pit lane start. So it is going to be an uphill battle for the RPC team if they want to overtake the Apex Racing Academy team for that team's championship. But hey, it's the end of the season. It's Imola. Things are going to happen, and things are going to get pretty weird. Just like how we saw Lewis Hamilton get lapped by Max Verstappen this year.
Hey, always like to mention that one.
Mark's not in here to absolutely yell me off and kick me out of the commentary booth. Like I said, that was confidence.
Yeah. As Marriott puts himself up into P9. We have got a fair few more drivers than 19, like Austin was saying. A few drivers with pit lane starts, we're expecting about 25, well, probably more than that, probably 27, 28 drivers tonight for this race. But yeah, a lot of pit lane starts for a few of the drivers. Currently top of the AMS, by the way. Taras up there in 6th position. He's had an awesome season ahead of Koopmans, who, to be fair to Koopmans, has occasionally had the pace to match Taras, but tonight it looks like Taras is in a league of his own.
Yeah, Victor Taras, like usual, getting a big run as Emil Koopmans just stopping the car through Ackerman Rao. Very easy place to get it off track, as we were looking at Gordon Hogg. I keep wanting to say Gordy. He's got some nose damage already, and I'm guessing he's slapped one of the curves pretty hard to bend that nose. as, yeah, that Porsche nose is looking awfully square than the round, smooth Porsche aero-designed nose that we usually see, like on Maxine's car.
This is going to be close. He needs all the aerodynamics that he can get because he's got 25 seconds to go in this session. I don't think he's going to make the line. Is it a decent lap time?
Well, he's been improving
yeah.
on 3 sectors. That last sector he just went through looked a little bit slower.
He's not going to make it.
Through Riviera 1, through Riviera 2, 10 seconds left. Pedal to the metal, head down. We aren't using the F1 timing line. He got to make it to the front. It's just right there. Can he make it? It is going to be, no, 2 grid spots away.
Yeah, never in doubt. Yeah. No, that's a shame. He may have gone, I think, well, I don't know. It's difficult to tell. But yeah, there were personal best sectors, like you were saying. So that's a big disappointment for him as we see the grid then for the final race of the season. Look at that from Josh Shaw. The 43 dead. Love to see it. You might like Michael Yanni. Pretty much champion, like we were saying before. Just needs to finish one of the races, and that should be enough. And as my top of the programs once again, he wants to get into the season. Noel looking really good in that first lap. Couldn't improve on his second lap. That's why he's so distant. Joe Vegard, Godestad, but RPC Esports lines up in 5th. Then it is the top of the ARMS with Victor Taras in 6th. Philip Hammer in 7th and Josu Alzugare in 8th. There's Marriott, Vangen, Lang, Koopmans is second out of the ARMS. There's your Tortoise, Chila, Borkland, Domko, Hawg, Moldecleve, and Scarrett in 19th.
And everybody else behind them is starting for the pit lane.
Apart from Behrens, it looks like he's going to take the grid. But yeah, Johansson, Stobeck, great to see Matthias back. Key, Christiansen, Strom, Moldovan, Gerdiel, and Verm. Hopefully we'll all start from the pits rather than not starting at all. But that's going to be quite a rampage coming out of this very long pit lane.
Yeah, we usually see the pile-up heading into turn 1 here. That chicane is very tricky. Both the chicanes at the start of this track is crazy. Tamburello and Villeneuve. And we usually see incidents of cars just getting a little bit too over-aggressive, just caught up into a pack, one car going a little bit wide. Kind of want to see that from the pit lane starters too, because the way that the pits are, they're going to have a very long run-up out of the pits to get out onto the track. Because, well, they're pretty much going to be starting back where Jacob Behrens is right here. So they're not only starting behind them, they're starting behind the entire group, and they're going to have everybody else leaving the pits at exactly the same time. And it's 5 red lights, and it's green, green, green for one final time in Season 6 as we start our final round here for the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championships. Michael Yanni getting a 4-star tip, Yarshell down towards the inside, and Andres Meyer wanted to look down towards the inside, decided to back off. One car getting a little bit loose right there. That is Philip Hammer getting a better run, but oh, one car getting hooked around, and they're into the grass already. That's, I believe that is Philip Hammer. But he gets down to the inside. The 282 of Andres Meyer. Yeah, it was Andres Meyer. Just hitting ahead of Joshu. Joshu trying to hold it down towards the inside. But Meyer, around goes one car in the background. That's Victor Taras. Taras is around.
These are Pro-Am and our Am leaders having a poor start. That's also Borkland having a spin on the exit of Tosa right there. Now the drivers who start from the pits will all overtake Taras right there. Key was not able to take the start, which is a shame. But it's still Joshua leading the way. Yanni in second place. That poor start for Meyer sending him down to P7. It was a decent launch for him. He dropped behind, however, Noel straight away, it looked like, through Tamburello. Yeah, and then I think there was a bit of unnecessary contact between the two of them, squeezing one another heading into Villeneuve, and that is where that contact came from, and he was lucky not to be taken out of the race, and remarkably still in the top 10 behind them, or behind this battle, sorry, is Domko having to go defensive against Behrens, who looks a fair bit quicker. Behrens up 13th place a bit, that's mainly because of the drivers who started from the pits, but he is looking to gain a fair few more places by the end of the race, as we are seeing Meyer go the long way round Marriott, so I think just defending against Marriott, he's still ahead, but they got quite a key behind.
Yeah, Meyer is going to be heading into the pit lane because I believe he might have gotten a jump to start penalty or a penalty of some sort, or that might be from damage. It is from damage. Look at the right side because he got a pretty hefty hit against the wall and I think was getting damage from the wall right there. That is suspension damage, so he'll be using one of his fast appearances. This is a big trip over the curbs. You can see nose damage from Mariot as he got airborne right there after going side by side with Thomas Wangen through Tamburello. And speaking of Tamburello, the Doman getting the elbows shown to him by Mads Johansson. But yeah, Meyer through turn 1 was actually side by side with Michael Yanni. He could have gone towards the inside, but he decided to brake earlier through Tamburello. And I feel like that just kind of set himself up because he was still to the outside through Tamburello. And that just allowed a lot of cars to sneak their way down towards the inside. It's kind of freight train in mid-corner of the second turn of Tamburello. And then he just didn't get the speed coming out of that corner because he was dealing with traffic. And then we saw him get hooked on from behind and hit the wall. And this start has gone from really good off the line to horrible because he now fits.
And of course, one of the important things for all these drivers, and it'll be applicable for Maya in particular, is getting within that top 8 so that you can get reverse grid pole. That is not going to happen for Maya anymore, but it might happen for a few of the drivers who started from the pit lane. Stobeck is the highest placed driver who started from the pits. He's currently 16th, but crucially, I think he's only 8 seconds off the top 8. Noah Chia currently up in 6 places himself into 8th position, and would take reverse grid pole if the race ended as it is running at the moment. So that is very important there. But he's got Mariot, who's very close behind. Mariot, the pro driver, indicated by that red stripe on the timing tower and also on his windshield banner, and he's looking to the inside. There's barely a gap. He's going to make himself a gap there. Mariot had to go onto the curb on the inside. Is he able to make it? He's got to leave a car's width on the outside. Does he do that? I'm not sure if he did, and Mariot does get through despite that damage.
I believe he pulled Thomas Wangen right there. You saw how Mariot went into the air, so he was like, well, if he's going to do it, I guess I'm going to do it to people as well. So he sent Air Chila right there, but Air Chila kind of landed without getting damage right there, so Chila stuck the landing 10 out of 10. Now, style through the air, that'll be a different point.
Another position gain for
Johansson and Borglund. Borglund, the AM driver, is holding around the outside right there. Kim Andre dropped down 2 spots from the where he started, but he's holding around the outside of Mads Johansson. And, well, it looked like he was going to really go for that move, but that's one tricky spot to hold around the outside or even make a move on, because it's a double left-hander. You can use some of the track on the outside. You just have to just hook a wheel on that curve, and he just stayed on the outside right there. So he could have done it, which would have been an amazing move as we head through Variante Alta. One of the hardest chicanes to nail if you prefer your bodywork to stay on your car.
And undoubtedly the worst chicane. I honestly think that it should just get rid of. I think it's a dreadful design.
There's one, there's one more worst chicane.
No, I mean here.
Oh,
like,
here.
it's the worst chicane here,
Yeah, you're right. Now, if we're going to be talking about absolute horrible chicanes, Daytona Road Course
Sochi.
NASCAR. NASCAR edition on the front straightaway. Why is that there? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I'd also put, Sochi turn 2 and 3 in there, as Lang's got past Chia. And also straight back past Hawk. Chia's dropping down after that very good start. Remember, Chia only qualified in 14th. So he's sort of arguably a little bit out of place anyway. And of course, Lang is his teammate. So they have decided that Lang's the slightly faster driver and elect him to go ahead. Burns up 15 places. Again, that's very skewed. I keep on looking at that. Like, oh my god, how has he done that? No, it's because like 10 drivers started from the 10 drivers started from the pit lane. So that's sort of the reason for that one. But still, I mean, 5 or 6 places gained. He could get reverse grid pole, but Lang is getting away at the moment as there goes Muldercleave. That is past Taras after that dreadful start for the Romanian driver.
Yeah, this round it is the top 8 getting reversed, not the top 10 like we have been doing it for all the rounds until now. So it's going to be a stretch if you're one of these lower drivers looking outside, looking in.
In fact, sorry, it is top 10.
It is top 10. Okay, so you just misled me in that intro.
Yes, apologies for that
Sam.
one. So, top 10 getting the reverse grid. So currently Chia absolutely in the perfect position. Koopmans, I think, skipped Tamburello earlier on, but he's still doing very well in 11th position. As we ride on board with Joe Vegard Godestad And this is for P3 past Nicholas Nold. Already up one position is Golestad, and this looks like it's going to be up another position as well. Not much of a defense put up by the Door Esports junior team driver. Although he's much later on the brakes, and that is how you go around the outside of that corner. There's a little bit too much curve at the second part of that chicane. But it looks like he's got it all settled down. Brilliant defense there from Nold, and Golestad is going to have to be more aggressive if he's going to get on the rostrum.
Golestad was very tentative early on the brakes, and Nold swung it around the outside. Beautiful bit of defending right there by Nicholas Nold. And beautiful respect by both of these drivers, leaving room for each other through Tamburello. Golestad decided to not really send it through the corner and just let Nold hold it around the outside, trying to force Nold into sending it over into the corner, and might have tried to trick him to hit the curb or make the mistake right there. But very respectful driving by both of them, and very beautiful move around the outside by Nold to stay into third. Because entering the corner, well, that's a big slide by Golestad. I love these Porsche Cups. The back end is just so twitchy in these cars. And, oh, they look like they're always on thin ice around this track.
Lang.
As Lucas Lang has had an issue, and I believe that's at Aqua Mineral. It is. And Lucas Lang, being like a few Formula 1 drivers, ending up on the outside of Aqua Mineral. As this, I believe there might be a bit of grass touching right here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the well. I mean he's gone miles off there as Lang. I mean he's way beyond. I mean usually you dip a wheel onto the grass and then you can't brake, but I mean he was all four wheels on the grass right there. As we have Moldovan trying to get past Domko. Wow, that was a big slide there for Domko. Can he get it stopped? He did well. Get on the brakes. They're so easy to miss your braking point when you're offline in that scenario, when you're trying to gather up the slide. And by the time that you do gather up, you've missed your braking point. I think this is only a matter of time though. Am driver versus Pro driver, and this time I don't think Domko is throwing up quite as much of a fight. But you know what? Moldovan is struggling for straight line speed a bit, and it took him a little while to get that move done down the straight, but he is now past. Also just saw Perrins went, oh no, Borkland off the circuit, and that's going to be 3 places lost.
Well, Domko's not going to be losing a spot out of that. He's pretty much broke even with that issue. Borkland thankfully went across the track, went across the runoff, and didn't hold up any of the drivers as Victor Taras recovered from his opening incident that he had throughout lap 1. As Lucas Lang sends it back down towards the inside, and that's 329, Thomas Worm Jr. And the front of that car looks like a pretzel has had a really bad experience.
Yes.
It looks like a pretzel, okay?
A half-eaten pretzel, maybe? It's
a very disformed pretzel.
Oh, here we go. Johansson, you don't make moves around this part of the circuit. Oh, he's just about made it. Well, how on earth can you get 2 cars through there? Oh, but that was just so he couldn't get 2 cars through there. Behrens, who went off the circuit earlier on in this lap, I think fell into the clutches of these drivers, and he would have been thinking that he could get reverse grip pole there, Behrens. He was looking good, and now it's looking unlikely.
Can we get a replay of that? Can we get a replay of that move right there by Mads Johansson? Through one of the tightest chicanes, we see this absolute move of bravery from Mads Johansson.
Yeah, not sure we're going to be able to find it.
Okay, I'm guessing there's so much going on we can't find it. But take a bow, Mads Johansson. Just take a bow.
Oh, here we go.
Look at this run coming out of the Aqua Mineral. Gets an amazing run. Looks down towards the inside. Right here, just sends it up onto the inside. Gets alongside, hops over that curb, and just leaves the room for the curb onto the inside. Now that inside curb, the second curb right there, if you go just a little bit farther, you will be getting a slowdown penalty. And he knew that. He forced Behrens to be on that inside, and he left him the room. And Behrens just said, I am not going to try to hold this down towards the inside, and I do not want that penalty. And speaking of a dive bomb, hello. Okay, Sergio Gurdel getting a little bit too much onto there and through Riviata. And is he actually waiting for him?
What was that?
That was Lucas Lang.
Yeah.
That was Lucas Lang. He was waiting for Lucas Lang. So Sergio, he felt bad about that one and just let him by.
Yep, good to see. Mortimer now past Hawk. Second place out of the AMs actually is Hawk. So yeah, the AMs, despite that very mixed up grid that we had, none of them were currently in the reverse grid places. Koopman's the highest up, as we're only halfway through this race. I mean, I've got used to Watkins Glen where the race was like over by this time. It was so quick, the average speed. This one's going to take a little bit longer as Meyer making his way back through, and that is past Mouldersleeve. That was easy.
Those brakes are glowing red hot, and Andreas Meyer down towards the inside of Riviazza, making himself up into 21st place. RBC, Esports, Strom, and Christensen. Yeah, Christensen and Strom, just both of them trying to pull up through the field and get as much points as they can, and up ahead of is Johansson. And we definitely know Mads Johansson is definitely mad to be making some overtakes, as they're going to be trying to chase him down. Up ahead is Koopmans and Sheila in the battle for the first good pole. Koopmans getting his nose up into the bumper, getting a point of the 228 is a 398. He's trying to chase him down. Jacob Behrens has had an issue, and I believe this is just
he's got going again now.
Yeah, he's going again. I feel like there might have been a monitor turnoff. We had this issue last round, and this might be a little bit of a technical issue. We did have one driver's monitor turn off before, as we return to our fight for 10th place, as Koopman's getting a lot of oversteer coming out of Alta, and definitely they're going to need to be watching out of the cars behind it, because Johansson is right there.
Yeah, and Stopek, of course, up into P9 now. So Stopek, remember, the top of the jersey starts from the pits. Then it is Johansson, Strom, Christiansen, and Moldven. Other guys who started from the pits were, well, Meyer went back to the pits on lap 1. Verm started from the pits, and Gerdiel started from the pits as well. Your Tortoise also had to go through the pits early on. So pretty crazy how Stopek is going to get a pretty good position for the reverse grid race. He could still get Marriott and Vangen, but I mean, the likes of Strom, Christensen, Molderman, Molderman's not going to make it, but you know, not all of Johansson, Strom, and Christensen are going to necessarily make it, so it's going to be very highly competitive for that 10th position. I'm not feeling good for Chia and Koopmans though right now. It's a tricky scenario here. They're going to get overtaken by the 3 cars behind them, but I mean, I'm sure they'd love to get reverse grid pole if they possibly could.
If they're going to try it, if they're going to go for it, they definitely got to try it, and they're certainly going to be trying for that as well, because Mads Johansson will definitely go for the move, but you got to remember that Strom and Christensen are also there. If they see Mads Johansson go for a move, they can kind of use that as a pick and set themselves up to start trying to get the move on Mads Johansson as well, and that might cause a little bit of a kerfuffle, as we see Mads Johansson getting a good run at Ackerman around, heading into Alta. He's not close enough like he was last time to go for that Alta move, but he's definitely lined himself up for a fantastic move heading into Riviata or even into Tamarillo, and might go for a 2-for-1 right here. So let's stay on board the 174.
Quick shout outs whilst we're riding on board with an Apex Racing Academy driver to Apex Racing Academy, one of the sponsors for this series. And thanks to Apex Racing Academy for offering a 1-month free subscription to all the drivers who signed up to this series, which has sure helped their performance out. Of course, sign up to Apex Racing Academy and you can get quicker in 29 different cars, get solo coaching sessions, group coaching sessions, setups, track guides, all that stuff. Do check out apexracingac.com and also get yourself a bronze, silver, or gold subscription. As this is going to be one for Johansson. Can he get both? Oh, he's going to look to the inside. He just gets it stuck. And Koopmans fought that one a lot more than I thought. Strom's now going to be held up. And I thought Johansson might be able to get cheered there, right there. But I know, it seemed like they were all sort of waiting for another as the RPC drivers start fighting against each other. Come on, guys. Work together and try to get into the top 10 of the pen.
Koopmans was I thought Koopmans was opening up the door just to let Johansson by. No, he was trying to hold it around the outside right there. He got near the curb, just the by nearest edge to that curb right there, and was able to hold it into 13 to slot right in there. But that really hurt Johansson's chance to really go for 2-for-1 right there. There was a little bit of movement underneath the braking zone, but Johansson is on the move right now, looking for reverse grid pole for race number 2. Gets a much cleaner line through Ackerman and Rao. Flings it down towards the inside. He's going to try to make it 2 for 2 and Alto once more. Late onto the brakes, Johansson down towards the inside and clear as day. Mads Johansson on the brake pedal, making it at Alta. Beautiful move for 10th place. As now the ball is in RPC Esports driver's court. Where are they going to launch that move into Riviazza? No, it's not. Cooper stays ahead. Strom now. How is he going to be attacking Tamarella? Because we saw the RPC Esports be a little bit tentative with each other. Are they both going to be going for this move at the same time?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit tricky for these guys because they've pretty much lost like their aim of reverse grid pole unless something happens ahead of them. So I don't think they need to be too rushed through it because in the end, Johansson's gone, it seems, and they've still got 2 more cars to get past. So just avoid a collision here, guys. Koopman's all over the curb. And we're seeing this a couple of times.
He did what Noel did, and then he exit 3 wide, and Strom is backed off. Christensen is now to the inside, heading into Villeneuve. And Emil Koopmans, well, he's hit the inside curve right there. That's going to allow Christensen to stroll on by around the outside, but Koopmans holding it down towards the inside right there. Christensen trying to hold it around the outside, getting it off the exit right there. Gets a little bit of a bump for his teammate as they exit side by side. They almost go a little bit 3 wide. They're pretty much in reverse diamond formation. And Christensen around to the outside. Koopmans is still there around the inside, but Emil Koopmans is definitely showing his own with 2 pros, 2 of the best pros right there. The AM driver really pulling his worth right now and giving a good resume out to any teams that are looking to hire him. So
Yes.
Koopman is already a part of the team, though.
Well, part of the Apex Misses, which is quite a derogatory name for a team.
He's been hitting these Apexes, I must say that, so they might need to look for a different name.
Well, I say that. I mean, he's seemingly been on the outside defending on every single corner.
Yes,
so actually, he's been missing a lot of the Apexes and doing them very well. So he's clearly got very much practice on that. Someone on the YouTube chat, by the way, just saying that this is the last round. Is it not? Quite true. This is the last round of the championship. Just 6 rounds. Great preparation for the PES qualifiers, which ends this weekend as Stobeck moves up to P7. I think that will be as far up as he can get. Oh, that was very early on, yeah, when Mag got that damage. It was over the curbs, wasn't it? As Strom can't get past.
Yeah, Strom, he hit the inside curve, got up on 2 wheels, and once again cannot get ahead of Koopmans. As Koopmans, I think, has just really nailed down that outside line at Tamarello. Everybody goes down towards the inside, so he's like, you know what? The next corner is a right-hander. I'll just take the outside line and just hold it around the outside right there. And he's certainly making it work. There's a lot of respect in this league. And if you're around the outside, if you're side-by-side by the exit, you're pretty much going to be having that inside line for the next curve. The only times where having that outside line doesn't work if you're Lewis Hamilton and you're against Max Verstappen. Then you take a trip over the curves.
Number 2. Keep a tally, guys. Strom is trying to, oh yeah, of course, it's the same story. Moldovan has absolutely rocked up to these guys. I think Moldovan was 6 seconds behind Strom at one point, but he's going to be fairly close by the end. He gained by 2.5 seconds on that last lap of the race. By the way, out in the lead, it's always been half a second between Jarshel and Yanni. We'll probably pop to that. We'll probably pay big attention to it on the last lap. Do you think Yanni's waiting to hit something here, Austin, or do you think he's... Yeah, you think he's going to go for it?
Yes. Now, oh, that's a lot of curves by Yanni. We got to watch out for these curves because we've seen damage pop up on these cars for how much curves that they're taking. Now, they can take pretty much big curves, but if they just hit that angle wrong, they're going to be getting some nose damage. We saw that from a few drivers in qualifying. As we're going to pump the brakes on this talk right now, there's been an issue with Gordon Hogg.
Yeah, Strom has just got past Koopmans as well.
But back behind him, Gordon Hogg has had a little bit of a mincer. That's at Riviazza right in front of the 282. And Andres Meyer's day has been so unlucky.
Best qualifying of the season, I think, for Meyer, who has one race win to his name this season. He won at race 2 at Red Bull Ring when the two leaders took each other out on the last lap. He's not going to repeat that tonight, although he might get 19th, which I don't think is going to...
Oh, he gets a better run through Vilner, but he's just met with bumpers, so he's going to try to hold it around the outside right here and looking for that switchback, but it's no money whatsoever. Meyer and Behrens, both these guys have been beating around the bush today. Well, they've certainly been beating around the scrapyard, I must say, because their Porsches aren't looking very Porsche right now. They're looking pretty much dented. But Meyer is getting a much greater run, so there is a lot less damage on his car than Behrens, as they have 2 laps to go. As Meyer looking to line up Aqua Minerale and get that exit right. It's not going to be able to launch himself into a loop, but he is going to be getting it just a little bit closer, trying to force Behrens into a mistake right now. A little bit of twitch of oversteer, but Meyer, that 282, chasing down the 284. Jacob Behrens, the IGL Coatings machine, versus the Racing Lab Esports machine. Heading into Rivianza. It's best not to send a move into Rivianza unless it's the last lap, which this is not. They got 2 more laps to go. It's a little bit of a slide from Behrens. Now is the best chance for Andres Meyer, looking back for 19th place again, as we see Meyer glued to that inside, well, glued to the left-hand side of the track, which is technically the outside of the track, and that's allowing Meyer to be alongside him, but he's being forced onto the outside. Is a set and a lockup by Behrens, and Myers with a switchback. He saw that happening. I guess he heard it. But Andreas Meyer back into 19th, forcing a mistake out of Behrens.
Yeah, he did well there. He wasn't... If he broke much later himself, he wouldn't have been able to get back underneath, and he would have had to skip the chicane. But yeah, he just saw that mistake and managed to take full advantage of it. Dorian Roy just asking who the championship runners-up are. So Yanni's leading the pros. Christiansen in 2nd position. So Christiansen looking like he's going to start race 2 in 11th place. So not great news for him, but a few of the drivers behind him aren't here tonight or are having poor rounds themselves. So I think Christiansen will keep that place. Vangen is runner-up currently in the Pro Ams. And in the AMS, I believe it's Koopmans, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Koopmans 2nd place, and that's a comfortable 2nd place ahead of Bjorkland. So yeah, that is the current situation in the points. We're not seeing too many changes at the top of the points at the moment. As Stobeck, brilliant pace, and he is, well, this is going to be easy against Alzugari. Is he going defensive, or is he just going to let him go? He's just letting go as the Spaniard driver. Thought he might fancy his chances at holding him back for 2 laps, but Stobeck's too quick, and he is up to 6th position, which from the pit lane is a remarkable improvement.
Yeah, Stobeck was not here for last round at the Nürburgring Ring, and I believe I don't believe he was at Watkins Glen as well.
No, he was. He was
at Watkins Glen.
But I don't think he did particularly well. I think he was like maybe top 10, but he didn't win.
Involved in that race 1 incident where, if you haven't seen the Watkins Glen round, you need to see it. It's massive incident, but it was also fantastic racing, race 1 and race 2. And it's a very quick watch, I must say, as well. As this is a poor exit by the 377 of Simon Medokiev, as this is Thomas Worm Jr. trying to hold around the outside. He's not going to be able to hold out there, but he gets an amazing run from Tamburello. That's not an amazing run through for Gordon Hawk, though, off the exit of Fielder. Is, I would say, one of the scariest parts to be off the track, because if you rev up the car and you fly across the track, there's a wall immediately on the right-hand side of the track, and that is prime track blockage territory. We've seen it a few times here on the Apex Racing League. We haven't seen it here yet, and by that, oh my, Yanni, calm down those curbs. Your suspension, you got another race. It's white flag last this time by, so you can get a little bit of repair in there. But Mads Johansson looking for that white flag move, pulling himself outside the outside line for race number 2. He started 2nd place if he's able to hold this off. Mads Johansson clearing Thomas Wangen, and Wangen doing what he did at
I was going to say,
letting the 10th place place car by to get pole position for race number 2. He did this in Nürburgring last round, and it was with Mads Johansson.
To be fair, I don't think this one
No,
was
it wasn't
tactical.
with
Or maybe this one may have been a little bit tactical, but last time I don't think it was. But he did finish P10 in race 2 as well. So this would be 3 consecutive P10s, which I'm not sure if has ever happened in Apex Racing League.
It was Wangen leading by Christensen. Not.
What, last time? I thought he was by himself last time.
No. They're in 10th place last round through the chicane. He led him by.
Okay,
Like 2 laps
I don't
ago.
remember that one. But here we go. Lead is a little bit separated out. Yanni, I think, had a poor lap a couple of laps ago. He's tried to close the gap, but man, this man is going to make it, is this 4 consecutive Door Esports, 5 consecutive Door Esports wins.
Yeah, but instead of his teammate, it's his first win. Tim Yarshell, the 153, takes the win here at Imola. Fantastic race by Tim Yarshell for the Door Esports junior team, as Nicholas Nold comes home in 3rd. So the Door Esports, well, Launer is not here this week. Well, certainly their team is here right now, as they take 1st and 3rd, and 2 spots on the podium. Michael Yanni, I would say, he's just clipped himself.
Oh no, he's going to let Christian go.
And, ooh, a little bit of teammates happening. Wangen letting Christensen get reverse grid pole for race number 2. The runner-up in the Porsche Cup Championship, still looking like he could try to get this, but with Yanni finishing 2nd, I believe that has sealed the deal right there. Luka Domko finishes in 7th, 3rd place in the AM category. Anders Meyer comes home in 18th. Mirans in 20th. And Sergio, it's a rough day for him. He's going to be finishing down in 21st. But also, are there drivers with 2 pit lane starts today?
There's a couple, and I will just check, but I think they were mainly AM drivers. I don't think they were. I think Gurdiel maybe had one.
You definitely had one.
It was. Here we go. We got it. Horn and Borkland. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a problem for.
Okay.
For Gurdiel. So yeah, I think it's just Borkland and Horn who will need to start from the pits in race 2. I don't think Horn is here, so just Borkland feeling that one. As I think I'm just gonna have a quick break on Apex Racing TV for a little bit, show us or show you some of our sponsors for this championship and for this broadcast. But we'll be back with you in just a few moments for race 2 of the evening.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
And welcome back to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship, as we are here for our final race of the day, our final round, our final heat. The last green flag is about to fly on the season, and we've been through 6 total rounds, 11 races. Well, our last final race is here today, the last sprint race of the season at Imola. And after race number 1, Mads Johansson was charging up through the field, trying to catch with his teammate Michael Yanni, and just trying to gain up some points. But Michael Yanni, all he just needed to do was just finish the race. He finishes second, and that's given him the proverbial, pretty much, yeah, he's clinched the championship right now.
Yeah, we have had this scenario in another championship where pretty much the only way that he can lose the championship now is by getting a bunch of penalties. So
and
he should
disconnected for the race.
And he hasn't had a penalty all season, Johansson. So I don't think there's too much risk of that happening. As Christensen is on pole position, there is Johansson. Could he end the season on a high? Then it's Marriott, Alzugari, Stobek, Hammer, Godestad, Nold, Yanni, and Jarshell rounding out the top 10. Then it is Vangen, Chia in 12th position. Then it's Strom, Moldovan, Koopmans, Taras, Domko, Meyer, Auckland, Behrens. Well, he's supposed to start from the pits, but he's currently on the grid. Then it's Behrens, Gerdiel, Mordecleve, Verm, Lang, Scarrett, Horg, and Yatortas. Again, I don't think we're going to see Key on the grid, as I think pretty much everyone is ready to get this race underway.
Yeah, going down the straightaway, Kristen was given the first place, and we thought this was for points. It is for points, but also Kristen going for his only win of the season. So let's go one last time. Kristen, amazing start off the line, jumps ahead of Mads Johansson and clears him out about like 2 car lengths. And Johansson is now under pressure. He's got another Apex Racing Academy car right back there with him, but Johansson trying to keep it with them as they go side by side through Tamara, a little bit offset by the 261 Thomas Langham, getting a little bit of wheel spin through turn 1, but everybody makes it through there very cleanly. And through Tamara and through Villeneuve, and big curb hit by the 132. That is Jensen on... yeah, that's Marriott and Jensen still with each other. And Marriott able to hold it around the outside, but Jensen gets it right there. Stovek able to go for a little bit more. No car spinning around so far, so this is very good. Alexari will move on Marriott as they go side by side, heading into Ackerman and Rao. Marriott, that IGL Coatings car, he's got that inside line and he's nailed that corner right there. And there's contact mid-corner in front of Michael Yenny. The 206 of Philip Hammer and Goddersad getting into each other, and Michael Yenny stuck onto the outside of Variante Alta is getting a lot of elbows out right there, but Yenny holds it around the outside of the braking zone, and Alta! Michael Yenny, fantastic move to jump up into 8th place ahead of that craziness right behind him, as this is Nicholas Knoll on the outside of Philip Hammer. Now down towards the inside into Riviazza. A lot of smoke being popped up right there. That might have just been a little bit of grass over braking, but a very clean first lap here.
Yeah, that was so tight heading into Alta that time round, and they did a really good job at getting through them. As Johansson managed to get past Christensen at some point during that lap. So I doubt it was a slowdown. That would have cost Christensen more, but yeah, just too quick there, Johansson. So that lead was short-lived, and Johansson, who has won, I think, 1 race so far this season. I might go check on those statistics in a bit, but he is currently at the top of the stands. I think he won back at race 2 in Hockenheim in the first meeting of the season. Is that a move as well for another RPC driver? That is Strom getting past Hammer, who is falling down the order fairly quickly right now. Hammer now down 5 places. I think that's a slowdown though for Nicholas Nold. It's going to be super costly. It's only lap 2, and look at all the drivers who are just going to stream past him right here.
Well, he's really done well by holding that inside line, forcing everybody to take the sword line around the outside. But he's being very tactical with this, actually getting a little bit rough, getting into the back of Chila up ahead, as Hammer and Chila sitting in that top 10, 3 wide for a little bit. And Knowles just trying to serve that time penalty in the most safe way as possible. Sergio Gurinel has had an issue at Alcom Mineral. Just just a little bit of a lockup. He's not the only driver. I think 3 drivers have just gone wide with lockup in the route, and I think we're going to have 3 times a slowdown penalty. This might turn into a little bit of a hairy situation right here with both drivers serving penalties right now throughout the side by side. Modokiev and Sergio Garridel, I think, are having a slowdown fight right now, and this might be good for Thomas Worm Jr. if he could get some clear air to happen, but Sergio Garridel sends it through the outside. But is it not a Sergio Garridel move? He doesn't send it into everything that he sees. It's unfortunately overshot that corner, and Modokiev is back ahead of Sergio, but Sergio looking for a Tamburello move. But here comes Thomas Worm right now. Sergio looking down towards the inside. Defensive line by Modokiev. And he's going to have that inside line heading for Tamburello. This might turn into a 3-wide fight. Do not switch away from this because Modokiev down towards the inside of Sergio. Sergio, though, very late onto the brakes. Modokiev let him by, and Victor Taras holds him around to the outside of Modokiev to take 3rd place in the AMs right now.
Yeah, this is pretty much for last place because we had Glenn Key out for 1 lap and then he went back to the pits. So this is last of the runners, and look how competitive it all is. Really good to see, and this is something that we've seen throughout the season. Really competitive drivers all the way down the order. As Knowles, oh man, you gotta feel bad for the guy. So good in race 1, P3 in race 1. Long way away from that right now. 15th position for him after that slowdown. Otherwise, I think he would have been about P9, somewhere behind Yanni right now. So yeah, gutsing for him as again it's a little bit offline there. So at the front of this train is Noah Chia, who kind of was a bit of a train leader back in the previous race as well. Ended up in P12 on that occasion, just missed out on the reverse grid, but he's got Vangen behind him, who I don't think is so much faster. Mordeman's just set the fastest lap of the race, actually, albeit fastest clean lap of the race. I don't think it was actually the legit fastest lap of the race, as this is Johansson getting past on lap 1. Oh, he's done it again. He loves this move.
Down and out. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it on camera. We got it right now, but Mats Johansson, 3rd time today at Alta, just beatable. We saw Michael Yanni also make his own version of that move as well. Joshua Agzari around the outside of the 166, but the 166 Gotterstad able to hold it off right there. Beautiful move by Gotterstad, and Stomek getting a little bit fancy in RG Bargy right there through Fielder. On the entry, Roger Trinidad is going to have to
Josh
a little bit. Jarshell has picked up a slowdown penalty, a very aggressive slowdown penalty. He nearly came to a stop right there. That's all Marriott to jump into 4th place. Thomas Wangen side by side with Philip Hammer. Hammer trying to hold around the outside. He's got a nose ahead. It does not anymore. He's going to try to look for the inside line, and this is a very daring move. He's really going to go for it. I've seen this move work and not work so many times. The emphasis on the not work times. It's a very touring car-esque corner to make a move on, I must say.
Yes.
This is Thomas Worm. He's had an issue, and he's dropping off the field. He's dropped off the field again. Does he just yeah, okay, yeah, he's just back end. Too much mustard through that corner. Too much speed, too much mustard, just too much. There's also a lockup in there as well.
Yep. This is a big train, so Vangen leads this now a bit. I think he's got the capabilities to pull away, seeing that he just got past Chia. Goes back to Lang. Domko is sort of maintaining the gap, so Domko I don't think is going to attach himself onto this until they start fighting a little bit more. By the way, quick shout out to another one of our sponsors, Virtual Racing School. Virtual Racing School offering data packs for 50+ cars. Get tuition for some of the best drivers in all of iRacing through Virtual Racing School. Check out virtualracingschool.com in order to get yourself a subscription. There are several tiers of subscriptions that you can get depending on what type of driver you are, how serious you take iRacing. There's different payment options for that. So big thanks to them, as that is more alongside the Tamburello. And well, this time I think there was a whole lot of change. Maya's still ahead of Moldovan, but it's very short-lived because Moldovan is much faster. And even though he's on the outside to the second part of Villeneuve, there is no stopping him. The Walk Racing Esports driver makes his way through. And oh, that's very slow there for the Esports driver. Also, Moldovan was wide himself, and benefiting from all that was Jakob Behrens, who's now 5 places from his start. He's up to 15.
Knowles just lost 3 spots so far in this one lap. He was side by side with Tamburello, got sideways off the exit, heading into Villeneuve. He took a big hit on that inside line. They touched a little bit, and then he locked up, heading into the hairpin, and he's just dropped down so many places. This is a disaster in that little bit of a convoy up ahead, that train, that convoy. Now, I must say, they might be heading at a little bit of an increased pace, but the pace in that convoy, you're only as fast as the slowest car, and the slowest car in every convoy is at the front.
Yep, as Alzugare's just got overtaken by Strong, which makes it quite neat on the time tower. You always love to see that. Nice division there between the red and the green. As Marriott, is that a slowdown for Marriott as well? You can pick a slowdown up at that last corner. Oh, side by side for the lead. This is between the teammates. Johansson versus Stovik. They're not fighting for the championship. They can just go for this one here, and this is what we want to see between these two very competitive drivers. Way over the curve. We've seen the Apex Racing Academy drivers take more curve than anyone else, but that was a new record. Super Trucks line. Stovik, though, is ahead. He's up from 5th on the grid to the race lead right now. He's got past Johansson. Christensen still in the fight, but that might just be the race decisive move with 6 laps to go.
Oh,
there it goes again.
But a dive by Johansson down towards the inside as they go side by side for the lead. Right in front of Roger Christensen, who is right there on their gearbox to pick up the scraps in case this gets ugly right now. But the 2 Apex Racing Academy drivers, Matthias Stovik and Mads Johansson, are going mad at each other, I must say, as they battle it out for the last checkered flag of the season, looking for gold. And that's a very wide line by Johansson. He might be picking up a slowdown penalty, or he's at least picked up an off track, I must say, but not a slowdown penalty. He was not on the concrete, but he was very wide on that AstroTurf right there through Ackerman and Rao. Let's ride on board of Mads Johansson. Are we going to be seeing more curb attacks by Stovik? And I gotta say, he was all 4 wheels off the ground right there. He was taking a Apex Racing League Super Trucks line. And I believe signups are for another week 13 event.
There will be an event. Signups not open for that. Hasn't been organised yet. But thanks, Austin, for reminding me at least. Yes, want to see more of that one. Maybe we could visit Imola. As he's trying to break the draft now. It's Stovik. That's all legal. As long as you're not within half a car length of the driver ahead, you can, or as long as there's not a driver within half a car length behind you, you can weave as much as you like. There's more curb being taken by those drivers. Just got so much control over the car, obviously. I mean, even when they're flying in the air, got no contact with the ground, car still looks fairly stable.
It is a very big wing. So Porsche, they could be designing airplanes, and he might have got a little bit of part of that. And if you haven't seen the 992 GT3 RS that was just revealed, it does have under 4 aerodynamics with the RS active aero craziness. It's a very cool reveal video. So, but that is the production car, GT3 RS. That looks like a GT3 car, the 992. So, you know, the 992 Cup, much different from the 992 being released in real life, but I gotta say, that Porsche is a beautiful machine.
I have not seen it yet, but I will look at it afterwards. Sounds very fancy.
It's a Porsche, they're all fancy.
Josh L on that last lap, that's 1.2 seconds faster than Stovik. So he's in this fight now. Could we see 6 in a row for Door Esports? When he got that slowdown earlier on, Josh L, I thought that would be it. But he is fast, is that man. And he's going to bring himself back into play. Very close right now between Vangen and Meyer, by the way. That's for P3 in the Pro-Ams. I feel like a move is fairly inevitable here. Meyer, of course, had that spin on lap 1 in race 1. Had a miserable rest of race 1. Had another spin. Wasn't really making too much progress just because of all the setbacks. This race 2 has been good, though, for him. He's up 6 places. As Noldes has to come into the pits, I imagine that's because of incidents. As there goes Meyer, is there space on the inside? He's going into a closing door right there, but he slams it open, and it's Meyer who's up to 11th position. That was maybe a little bit aggressive there from Vangen, but he has no response to that one, although a bit too much curve right there, and he gets the cut back through the final part of Tamburello into Villeneuve. They go inside line, usually has a big advantage around this corner, but to be fair to him, he's a little bit generous, leaves the car's width all the way. No matter what, Wangen up ahead, and he is in 11th position, but Maya is only a matter of time until he comes back again into Tosura. These drivers side by side, this is Chia, Behrens, Gurdiel, Koopmans, even Taras and Domko are close behind as well. Nothing to split these two drivers, less than 100th between them as they head into Piratella. Big side as he gets onto the grass there, Behrens. He goes wide, he's going to drop 3 places, he might even drop 4 places there, Behrens, and a frustrating day continues for him as even into Aqua Minerale, Lang is still, apologies, Chia is still having to defend.
Yeah, it's not going to be able right there with that big lockup, but Lucas Lang now at the front of this little fight. The 155 of Sergio Senian down towards the inside of Alta as Mats Johansson has dropped down to 4th place. Yarshell around the outside of Riviato 1 and 2 as they exit side by side. And a little bit of draft is going to be helping out Yarshell. But Johansson trying to help out that draft as well. Gets a bumper to the door as they are side by side for the last podium spot. Big bump by Johansson, and Yarshell still holds it around the outside, but Johansson, oh, he's certainly getting a little bit mad behind that wheel. That was a big bump right there.
Lang and Behrens are the next guys into the pits. Again, must be due to incidents as Maya passed. So no, Vangen's still defending from Maya's knees. This one's still going on right now. But yeah, terrible for a couple of corners there for Johansson. Managed to keep P3, but I feel like Joshua had to make the move down Johansson if he was going to catch up to Stobeck. Now that he hasn't been able to get past, way too much curve for the pair of them there between Vangen and Maya. Another 1x picked up, and that could be problems as Chia is super close. Chia's got a lot of damage. That's just curb strikes right there, and Maya is barely ahead of him, so plenty of errors right now from these drivers, and it kind of demonstrates if you push those curves a little bit too far, it can really spit you out.
It can spit you out. We saw Matthias up ahead for the lead of this race, how high he got, but luckily did not get any damage. But you know, if you hit the curbs wrong, just hit him square, you will get damage. As this is Roger Christensen looking for 2nd place. This is how we got ahead of Johansson. I think Johansson had a slowdown penalty through Aqua Mineral, and that is where we return to that live picture. And that is how Christensen has jumped up into 2nd place. Slowdown penalty by Johansson.
By the way, there's Josh Hurst on 14, so those other pit lanes or drive-throughs have been because of incidents, and Josh shot himself up to 14, so he cannot afford a 4x. Actually, he can't even afford 3 1x's, so quite a lot of pressure on him right now. Fortunately, he's not around any cars. Well, I say fortunately, I imagine he'd quite like to be closer to the car ahead.
He might be very soon. Johansson is on Christensen's bumper.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think he's already made that move, hasn't he?
He will be going for that fight, and Christensen will be not giving it up at all. They will be fighting each other, so this might get a little bit interesting. And by a little bit, I mean a lot.
Koopmans, by the way, looking for the double in the AMS. Had a very good race 1, and it's a shame because Koopmans, like I said earlier on, has had many occasions where he's been as fast as Taras. Tonight, Taras has been much faster, but he's had rubbish luck, and that is why Koopmans looks like he's going to go for the double. Quite comfortable right now out on circuit by himself on top of the Pro-Ams is Alzugari, who I don't feel like has got a Pro-Am race win so far this season, albeit had a very good race 1 earlier on. He's usually been overshadowed by Maya, but Maya's not had a very good evening, so Alzugari might end up as the highest point scorer, or squeezing right to the inside there. Molderman trying to get past Domko, who has been in that 16th position, I swear, from the starts of the race. Well, he's up 1 place from his race start, but he's pretty much been there for the entire race. And he's got both the Walk Racing Esports drivers behind. And with 1 lap to go in the championship, Austin, the cuffs are off. This is going to get personal, and I think Molderman will find a way past no matter what.
Yeah, Molderman was getting very aggressive, looking for that move, but the Walk Run Esports racing car still stuck behind Domko, and he's got Victor Terrace right now behind him. So white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go for the Apex Racing Academy Cup Championship. Matthias Stobeck of Air Stobeck and Apex Racing Academy leading out this race as Mads Johansson and Christensen are fighting each other for 2nd place. They're just separated by 3/10. Johansson unable to be making that move into Tamburello, so he's looking for that very last opportunity. Where do you think Johansson's going to go? I have I have a hint. It's at Alta. As here is Moldovan round the outside. Look for a last lap move around the outside of Domko, but Domko's right there on the inside. He gets pushed up into the curves, and they both hit each other. Victor Torres gets a double overtake in the final lap to move up into 16th and 2nd place in the AMS race.
So inevitable. I've never been more sure of a race, more of a crash. I was tempted to say a crash was coming just before that, but I didn't want to interrupt you with Elston.
Johansson.
So inevitable right there. As Johansson, can he do the same move as he did on lap 1? Well, it's a little bit wide there for Christensen. He hasn't quite nailed the second part of the chicane, but Christensen will know that it's coming. He just takes the racing line because he doesn't want to be done on the outside once again. But again, he's a little bit wide, and Johansson's going to have a chance heading into Rivazza on the last corner of the championship.
He had an opportunity right there, but into Rivazza, it's going to be very well telegraphed by Christensen where he's going to go. He moves out late into the brakes. It's a late move. A lockup right there. Christensen's able to get the speed down towards the inside, heading to Rivazza too, but Johansson is just barely ahead. Johansson getting the better exit right now. Christensen unable to get it as Matthias Stobek takes the win, and Mads Johansson makes it work in the final 2 corners for 2nd place. A very clean move, a almost thrown away move right there. Christensen finishes on the podium, and Tim Yarshell takes 4th place. Marriott in 5th. Michael Yanni, your Le Champion, in 6th place. Goddard in 7th, and Strom in 8th. Followed by Joshua Agzari and Philip Hammer in 10th place. Noah Chila finishes that as Sergio, as somebody is parked right there on the wall. Luckily was not hit by them. Victor Torres, well, he finally got some good luck. Unfortunately, it's at the very last lap of the last race, but he does come home. Your AM driver, Le Champion, by a mile. As Kim Andre Borklund finishes in 19th. Lucas Lang and Harlan Tuatis in 20th and 21st. Alexander Scarrett, 22nd, up 3 spots. Gordon Hogg in 23rd, followed by Thomas Worm Jr. Simon Minokiev, well, they've been having an up and down day with each other, but we are looking at our champion for this season, and I believe a team championship as well for the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Championship, the team's championship, and your overall championship, Apex Racing Academy.
Yep, congratulations to those drivers. It was run hard, to be fair, by RPC in the end, and I think if Door Esports had been able to field a full team from the start of the season as well, they would have been very close, but well, yeah, Pro Drivers champion in the end. Did Apex Racing Academy secure? They may have got top 2 in the championship. I feel like Johansson may have been able to get up into 2nd place by the end of the season. If not, it would have been very close, albeit Christensen did have a solid race 2 right there, didn't he? So may have been enough to hang on. And yeah, that rounds out the season. I'm going to try to get the points done, Austin, and we might even be able to display them by the end of the evening. So I'll let you go through the final results.
Yeah, here's our final results. Matthias Stobek takes the final win with a Air Stobek moment, which was an absolute beautiful move on Mads Johansson. Mads Johansson with a final lap send on Roger Christensen. Christensen, your defending champion, finishes in 3rd. Tim Marshall in 4th, followed by Maxime Marriott. Michael Yanni finishes in 6th place and wins their championship, as I believe we see him in the background just burning it down and having a grand old time. Goddard in 7th, followed by Strom, Alexari, Hammer, Wingen, Meyer, Chila, Sergio Garridel, Emil Koopmans, Victor Taras, our AMS championship winner, as well as Andres Meyer, our Pro-Am championship, followed by Kim Andre Borklund and Luca Domko in 17th and 18th, reverse those, followed by Lucas Lang, Harald Zuatis, Alexander Scarrett, Thomas Worm, Van Medokiev, Noel Hogg, and Behrens at the end of our 27-car grid. Glenn Key took the start, did 1 lap, and then parked it.
And he gained like 5 places, well, to Key on lap 1. And then, yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
There was no incident at all. I think Glenn Key took the start. He might have jumped the start. If he jumped up 5 spots, he might have jumped the start.
Maybe. Yes.
But there was no incident that because he didn't do, I think, a single lap in race number 1 as well.
I mean, the defining point for Key will be that Red Bull ring incident, wasn't it? Where I think he was
Oh,
taken out by another driver who's I can't even remember who it was. I wouldn't name them even if I
Stobart.
did. No, that was in race one. And Stovek took made contact with someone else. But no, it wasn't one of the Apex Racing Academy drivers. It was someone else. And yeah, that's the thing that I remember from Keith. So he deserved a race win, basically. What I'm saying, it was a shame that he couldn't go out there tonight because I think if he had been out there
Oh, the
in race
final
two, he could have had a
turn.
good chance.
I'm now remembering this moment. Oh, that's the most unfortunate moment for Glenn Key. Uh, up and down season for them, but yeah, a very up and up season for Michael Yanni. Who I'm trying to think of any moment of Michael Yanni that has gone wrong for him
Watkins Glen.
besides Watkins Glen,
Yeah.
which when you think about it is completely out of his control.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think he's made a mistake. I don't think he's got even protested for a penalty this season. So been very clean and yeah, very deserved champion for this season.
Speaking of deserved champions, we do have a champion with us right now. It's our Pro-Am champion, Andres Meyer. Andres, how are you feeling after this season? And you've just been on fire throughout the season. And are you glad it's finally over?
Uh, yeah. How am I feeling? Yeah, I mean, think I'll be more happy tomorrow that I'm actually the champion because today was such a dark day. I had an off day in terms of pace. I've been so much faster in practice, and then I got taken out in race one and got hit 2 more times in race one, and yeah, I was just really frustrated. And coming into race two, I did so many mistakes. So today, it kind of kills the mood a bit, but. Yeah, the window overall was the goal coming into today. But when you get on the starting line, you want to do your best, and when you don't do it, it's kind of an anticlimax. But yeah, how it is.
Yeah, everybody wants that final win of the season, and everyone was really going for it, especially in race number one. We saw you get involved in a lot of incidents right there, but you brought it back for 12th place and a pretty good finish, fourth in your class, but it was a overall championship that really what brings home the bacon in Apex Racing Academy and Apex Racing leagues, and you certainly pulled that one off. And next season, when we bring it back, you will be promoted to pro if you show up.
Yeah, that sounds good. I will also try to work on my iRating a bit because the main goal with this championship was to prepare for the official Norwegian championship, which will be used. This car will be used because Porsche is sponsoring it. So it was I was using this series to prepare myself for that, and I probably have to use officials in the meantime before that starts. So maybe my rating will be good enough as well to actually be in the pros. But yeah, I will. My main focus will be that series now, but as soon as that is done with, I will definitely be back for more Apex Racing leagues.
All right. Well, you've certainly been looking like a very top contender in that series. So I wish you the best of luck in that upcoming championship. Congrats on your championship in the Pro-Am category. Before I let you go to go celebrate this one or just feel better about today and celebrate tomorrow, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to give a huge thanks to my team, especially Glenn and Carl Frederick, which has been with me for this series. Carl Frederick couldn't race today, but he was spotting for me, though it wasn't much to spot, but still he helped me out a lot. And thanks to our sponsors, KTM, CarX.no, and Racing Lab. Thanks to you guys for amazing broadcasts. It's really enjoyable watching it. I share it with everyone I know, and people love watching it. And thanks to Apex Racing for making these championships happen.
I think you're putting a great show out there on track, Anders. Congrats on your Pro-Am championship. And over to Sam, who I believe is standing by with two drivers who didn't win a championship, but they were showing what they got out there today.
Yeah, so I was just going through the points as well. I'll speak to them a little bit later on. But also, quick shout out. I don't think we gave a shout out to SDK Gaming. Quick shout out to them, of course. these broadcasts wouldn't be possible without SDK Gaming. They provide our overlays, our live timing, and of course, if you drive on iRacing, then you can also use it as a heads-up display as well. So you can customize it as much as you like. It's got a fuel calculator. It's basically got everything that you possibly need whilst you are driving. And yeah, do check it out. There's so many things you can do with SDK. So check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to get yourself a subscription. We have got. Well, who are we going to have a chat with first? Well, we'll have a chat with Emil Koopmans because Emil had a really good day tonight.
Oh,
Good evening, Emil. Well done. 2 victories by my reckoning. After a little bit of an unlucky season, I think on many counts. I think back to like Watkins Glen. I think you got taken out at turn 2 on both occasions. You must be very pleased to have 2 very easy, or not easy, but easier races compared to maybe the misfortune that you've had at a few rounds this season.
The season was great. Watkins Glen indeed was a bit of an unfortunate for me. Both races I was taken out in the S's. So yeah, that was a bit of a tough pillow to swallow. But today was amazing. Was an amazing race. But I think I only won because Victor Taros had a misfortune this time in both races, and I was a bit lucky, especially both first laps in turns 3, 2 till 4. It was a bit of a chaos, and I somehow managed to avoid, I think, all the crashes pretty nicely. And from there, it was just I saw that I was number 1 in the AM standing, so I just wanted to take it easy. But there were quite a couple of pro drivers behind me, and they had different plans. But all in all, it was good fun, and yeah, it's a really tough track though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How were the curbs out here? Because it seemed like the top guys could just take more and more curb as the race went on. I mean, they were really pushing it. I mean, they weren't really restricted by the curbs; they were restricted by the slowdowns, I think, if anything. How were you over those curbs? Were you able to kind of get the sets up to dial out, the bumps there, or were you still
I
having
think
to be
you're
a bit
referring
cautious?
to the chicane.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know. I think iRacing pretty much killed this track with how they implemented the off tracks in that particular chicane. You used to be able to fly over them pretty nicely, and now it's just hit or miss with the off tracks, and it completely destroys the flow there as well. And yeah, I think I took it too easy, and most of the pro drivers won indeed a couple of tenths in that. But I'm not sure if they were driving on the off tracks, because I also saw quite a few going in for perhaps a drive-through penalty. So perhaps they were just taking the off track every lap, because if you take the off track, you can gain a couple of tenths easily.
A few, you're right. Who got slowdowns? Got slowdowns and got drive-throughs. I think there were about 4 or 5 in that race too. Of course, you finished now the season in 2nd position and a comfortable 2nd position as well.
I was hoping perhaps.
Yeah, unfortunately, Victor a little bit clear, albeit. I mean, you scored more points than him in the second half of the season, or the final 2 rounds of the season. But yeah, what stands next for you? I mean, what's next in the pipeline for yourself and the Apex misses? Are you going to stick with the Porsche Cup, or have you got other championships?
Well, I'm sticking to the Porsche Cup at least. I think it's the most fun car to drive in iRacing. Next event is the Bathurst 1000. It's a different car, but it's so much fun. It's an awesome track. It's an awesome car. We do that just for fun. We're trying to qualify for SCO in end of September. And besides that, I'm just looking around for Porsche Cup leagues to join. I have a couple that I'm looking forward to, but I'm also hoping that Apex Racing is making a new league pretty soon.
Yes, I'm sure it won't be too long until Apex Racing League gets another Porsche Cup Championship going. So I hope to see you back in that whenever it occurs. Emil, is there
Definitely.
anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, big shout out to our sponsor, iOverlay. It's a new overlay for iRacing, but I think it's pretty much the best one in the market now. So, for all the viewers, give it a try.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Emil, and we'll see you back, in hopefully very soon on Apex Racing TV.
Okay, and thank you for organizing the league. Was amazing. So thank you.
Awesome. That was Emil Koopmans there. your runner-up this season in the Amateur Championship. And Austin, I think you got one of our championship winners to have a chat with.
Well, I got our championship winner, Michael Yanni, who is currently celebrating by ordering a pizza right now.
How do you know that? What?
Your teammate sent me this photo, and he's laughing his head off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were trying to make really terrible pizza decisions, but I defaulted back to, like, normal because it looked too gross, I'm gonna be honest.
Was there, like, salmon on there or something?
Oh, they're making me put, like, anchovies and, like, no cheese and, like,
I applaud your pizza choice, though. I applaud the company. I will say I made a reference to the middle of the race, so you'll like that. But yeah,
Okay.
congrats on your championship. It was a very solid championship for you. The only time it seemed like something bad happened to you was at Watkins Glen. But when we look at the Watkins Glen race, it was something that was completely out of your control. So, in control-wise, it was just a very clean, very fast, and very, well, nailed-down championship for you. And there was no mistakes right there. So, a well-deserved championship for you in the 199. Sam, any standout performances by Michael we just want to point out?
Oh well, now you put me on the spot. I think Hockenheim was probably the most impressive because I think Michael came from dominated race 1 and then came back in race 2 as well. But yeah, any standout performances you think, Michael? Do you think there was like a particular round where you just absolutely nailed the track?
Maybe not nailed Q. I think in week 3 at Red Bull Ring, that was a drive for me because
Yes.
I off-tracked both the laps, right? And it was in the very final corner where I off-tracked it. So frustrating. At that point, because I know there's no drops in the championship, I was a little like, oh, what have I done? Because there's no way I'm getting through 46 cars. Somehow, throughout all the carnage and chaos, the seas parted and I was able to get up there and just missed out on the top 10. But no, that was definitely my favorite drive of the season, I think, because it was just so much fun to work through the field.
Yeah, race 1 of Red Bull Ring was very impressive to watch, and I gotta say, I was watching you climb up that leaderboard around that small go-kart-esque track, and just wondering, what is he doing to do this? Because that was amazing. There was other stuff going on, so we didn't see every move, but when we did, they were certainly spectacular.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, but overall, like you said, it's been a really solid season. I had a lot of fun. It's really good prep for the races on Saturday. And yeah, I mean, it just kept it clean, basically. That was the objective because I saw how harsh the penalties were. So yeah, I knew that if I wanted to have a chance to win this, then I would have to just not get involved in any sort of incident that could yield a protest towards me, something like that.
I don't think you had one sealed protest at all throughout the season.
No, yeah, that's all I did. Like in certain situations where I'm like, should I go for this or not? I'm like, it's probably not worth it. Especially at Red Bull Ring, I was like, just trying to be really cautious because I know how easy it is, with netcode, etc., to just connect with the two cars and you both go off and then you get blamed for it, stuff like that. So.
Well, it's a championship in your pocket right there, and a very good championship, well-deserved for you, Michael. Before we let you go to go celebrate this, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, for sure. ART, Apex Racing Team, and the Academy, and you guys as well for doing these broadcasts every week. I go back and watch them. They're really good. Yeah, without you guys, we couldn't be here, so I appreciate all you guys.
And without you, we don't have any moments to absolutely destroy our vocal cords. Well, I think I'm just me on that case, but he's certainly providing some highlight moments. Good luck in the officials the last week right there, and hopefully we see you in the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
Yeah, thanks guys. Catch you later.
Thank you for all your showing out there on track. Over to Sam for any final thoughts.
Yeah, just of course, anyone who's watching this and thinks I want to take part in this, you can't. Championship's over, so wait is all I can say. There'll probably be another Porsche Cup Championship at some point during 2022, but of course we do have other series starting up. Got one more round of the GT3 trophy. However, we are going to have an American GT3 championship starting up in probably about a month's time. Sign-ups are open for our Apex Racing League truck series, so that's in the NASCAR truck cars. That is on Sunday evenings for Europeans, so Americans are welcome as well. That'll be in the afternoon for you guys, so hopefully that will be accessible for you lots. And then, yeah, lots of other championships starting up. F3 is going to be starting, I believe, in 3 weeks' time. So yeah, F3, NASCAR trucks, and GT3s as well, all ready to go in Apex Racing League. And of course, only a matter of time till we get Super Trucks back going and Porsche Cup as well. So just join the Apex Racing League Discord in the description below, and then that's the place to see any announcements, and also check out the ApexRacingLeague.com website as well.
And follow us on Twitter for any more Apex Racing League or Apex Racing TV or team news as well on Twitter, as because there's some fun things that go up there throughout the week when we are not broadcasting. Usually some funny highlights, or it's just somebody really pointing out that I can't say a few words right.
I like those ones.
It's mainly ran by Sam.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us for this wonderful season here at Apex Racing TV for the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship. Season 6 is written and it's in the books here at Imola, and it certainly was a finale to remember. Thank you everybody. Thank you for Sam for being in the commentary booth throughout this season. Thank you for Lewis in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.